Perhaps owing its inspiration to the hit movie Rocky, one of the machines lets 98-pound weaklings play heavy.
So if you watch that hot dog eating contest, wow! He goes up heavy.
This is the domain of combat sports video games, where every punch, kick, and knockout feels as real as it gets. These games have experienced a remarkable rise in popularity over the past few decades. From their humble beginnings with pixelated graphics and simple mechanics to today's hyper-realistic, immersive experiences, these games have captivated millions. But what drives the growing fascination? Let's explore the rich history of combat sports video games and uncover why they resonate so profoundly with today's gamers. Chapter 1. The Origins and the Evolution. The journey of combat sports video games begins in the late 1970s and early 1980s. 1976 heavyweight champion by Sega is considered the very first boxing game.
98-pound weaklings play heavyweight champion. That's just one of the space-age games of the new Sega Center in Fashion Valley.
The game featured simple joystick controls and monochromatic graphics that laid the foundation of the genre. The 80s brought way more innovation. Punch-Out by Nintendo, which came out in 1984, introduced a whole new level of engagement with its vibrant characters and challenging gameplay. Players faced off against colorful opponents, each with a unique patterns and weaknesses. The game was an arcade phenomenon, leading to the famous Mike Tyson's Punch-Out on the NES in 1987. Even in today's time, the game is still played and has caused some, well, interesting reactions.
Yo man, what the fuck? He just knocked me out of one hit. What the fuck, man?
Even the 90s saw a significant shift. With more powerful gaming consoles like the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, Super Punch-Out, which came in 1994, and Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing, which came out in 1992, offered improved graphics and more intricate gameplay mechanics. The era also saw the birth of mixed martial arts games with titles like Pancrase Hybrid Wrestling, which began to capture the complexity and excitement of the sport of MMA. As we moved into the 2000s, technological advances in graphics and processing power quite literally revolutionized the genre. Games like EA Sports Knockout Kings and Fight Night 2004 introduced realistic graphics, motion capture technology, and intricate control schemes that mimic real-life boxing techniques. EA Sports Fight Night Round 3 is often hailed as the masterpiece for its lifelike visuals and immersive gameplay. It featured the usual improvements such as better graphics and gameplay, but a brand new control called Impact Punches was one of the more drastic changes to the game, along with the ESPN Classics fights and a whole new revamped career mode, in which the player fought to gain popularity in order to reach sponsored fights or to be featured on ESPN itself. In 2012, UFC Undisputed 3 by THQ, released for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, stands as a landmark in the combat sports gaming community, building upon the success of its predecessors, UFC Undisputed 2009 and UFC Undisputed 2010. This installment offers a deeply immersive, comprehensive MMA system that caters to both casual players and hardcore fans of the sport. The game features over 150 fighters, including legends like John Jones, GSP, and Anderson Silva, each rendered with realistic facial features, body types, and fighting styles. The attention to detail is evident in every aspect, from the fluid and responsive control system to the authentic presentation of UFC events, even commentary from Joe Rogan and Mike Goldberg. Visually, UFC Undisputed 3 sets a high bar with detailed character models and dynamic lighting. The game's career mode is another highlight, providing a deep and engaging journey from a rookie fighter to UFC champion, allowing you to pick real-life depicted MMA gyms, promotional events, and rivalries that add a narrative layer to the player's progression. And then the most notable addition to the game is the introduction of Pride Mode, which allows players to compete in the legendary Japanese MMA promotion known for its no-holds-barred rules, such as soccer kicks and stumps, and a unique ring environment. The mode is nostalgic to MMA's roots and adds a distinct flavor to the game. With this authentic portrayal of the sport, UFC Undisputed 3 remains a beloved title in the combat sports gaming community, celebrated for its ability to capture the excitement and complexity of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Chapter 2: Modern Day Marvels. Fast forward to today, and combat sports video games are more popular than ever. The UFC titles have set a whole new standard for realism and gameplay depth. Now, don't get me wrong, these games are nowhere near the realm of perfect, but that begs the question: what exactly makes these games so compelling in a modern era? Let me tell you: realism and immersion, authenticity and licensing, esports and competitive play, community and customization, and then finally, cultural impact. Modern combat sports games leverage cutting-edge technology to create an incredibly immersive experience. From hyper-realistic graphics, motion capture animations, and lifelike and detailed arenas, every aspect is designed to make players feel like they're a part of the action. The implementation of advanced physics engines and precise control schemes allows for a nuanced representation of fighting techniques and strategies. Inclusion of real-life fighters, accurate representation of their fighting styles, and efficient licensing from major organizations like the UFC, WBC, and more add a layer of authenticity that fans crave. Players can step into the shoes of their favorite fighters and relive iconic matchups or dream fights that have never happened before. Competitive gaming leagues and tournaments for titles like Fight Night and UFC draw huge audiences both online and sometimes when it's happening in person. The competitive scene adds another dimension to these games, encouraging players to master complex mechanics and strategies to outplay their opponents. The UFC's growth, boxing's resurgence since COVID, and the increasing interest in martial arts have all been mirrored in the gaming world. And with the Undisputed boxing game being the very first boxing game we have seen on console since 2011's Fight Night Champion, this only adds to the cultural impact that game will have to the combat sports genre. All in all, the rise of combat sports video games is a testament to their ability to evolve and captivate audiences through immersive experience, authenticity, and competitive excitement. From the simple arcade games of the past to today's sophisticated simulations, these games have come a long way, carving out a significant niche in the gaming industry. So next time you pick up a controller to land a perfect knockout or to execute that flawless submission, remember that you're a part of a rich legacy that continues to push the boundaries of what's possible in the virtual world. The ring may be digital, the thrill is undeniably real.